Check one, check one. There we go. All right. I don't know why my microphone defaulted to something else, but there we go. All right, what's going on, Millionaire Wave? All right, or Weave. No, Wave, my bad. Finally caught alive. Good. Glad you was able to hop on in here. Oh man, I was trying so hard today to get me a fritter. I was trying hard, and I'm gonna tell y'all, this business is lovely, but it's also crazy. Let me turn this music down a little bit because I always be having it up too loud. All right. Yeah, there we go. Let me turn it down some. But let me check it on. Let me turn it down some. But check it out. Make sure it's not too loud for y'all. All right. I turn it way down because apparently it pushes through to y'all a lot louder. What's the name of it? That's a good question. This song, I got it. It's called Feel Good Flow off of Adobe. If you have the full version of it, if you have an Adobe membership, you can actually download clips. They have a whole stock thing that you're paying for, and you can play that music, because you paid for it, and it's royalty free. So that's where I got it from. And it's a couple of others in there. They have all kinds. So you just have to find one that fits your vibe and things of that nature. And when y'all get a chance to look, make sure y'all hit the like buttons because YouTube won't send a notification out. They'll send it out initially, but there are a lot of people that don't get it. So hit the like button so YouTube will know that y'all are interested. We got 10 folks. We should have 10 likes. And also share it on your social media if you don't mind, as long as nobody bans you, because some people have been banned for listening to me. So if you're in a Facebook group, they might kick you out because they don't care for me that much. I'm just being real with you. So, hold on, let me see if I can pull this up for you because I don't, I'm gonna just take my time tonight. All right, let's see here. And I just so I can show you. Share my screen. And all right. Okay. So what do we got going on here? All right. Let me make sure. I got something going on weird on my end. Let me do this here. Hold on one second, y'all. I got something weird going on. Oh, hold on one second. What is going on here? Not sure what the deal is here. It's just something on my end that is acting up, making it hard for me to share my screen. All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to stop that because it is not showing up on my end. Don't know what's going on. But basically, if you're in Adobe, you have Adobe, the full version of Adobe, you can get in there and get royalty-free music and everything. All right, man, what's going on, though, Giant? Man, I actually tried to get a fritter today. I didn't get a chance to get to no fritter stuff until late this evening. They was all gone, and now they got churro. I'm sorry, I said churro like Cheerio. They got churro donuts, so I'm gonna have to give that a shot. But as a backup, I got my private collection from Kroger, macadamia nut cookies. I love them. So yeah. All right, man. No problem. Yeah, hit me up because I got two closings tomorrow and I'm gonna be out doing some other stuff. So feel free to hit me up and everything. Um man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Just trying to see here. Let me all right. Gosh, I can't even if my share screen is acting up. That mean I can't even show y'all what I wanted to show y'all. Let me see if I can get it to work this time. Mm-mm-mm. All right, it looks like okay. I guess I got it working. I'm gonna have to. So, real quick, this guy here, and I will drop him in there. All right. Okay. Cool. Cool. So yeah, this guy, this video right here, Joe Biden passed new law for independent contractors. Y'all need to go take a look at that one, as well as this gentleman here. This is John Williams. He just did one a few days ago, and there might have been a couple of others that he did on this. But let me drop this in there for y'all. And y'all need to go check his out too, talking about the new law. All right, so let me come back to y'all real quick. All right. So have y'all heard anything about this? If you have, put a one in the chat that there's some law changes coming about how companies classify us. Um, I don't know. That's a good question. Wait a minute. I think it is. My bad. I think it is. I'm trying to recall. I mean, that's a simple, is fidelity approved. I mean, simple Google. Um, that's a good question. I would assume that it is. But I'll have to do some more. I'm trying to choose a platform. Okay, so what it's saying here, okay, so strike a balance, consider a two platform approach, fidelity approved Okay, so let me show y'all this real quick. So this here and it looks like this came from Cyberizer, Amy's channel. I mean website. So it says it right here. Choose a platform approved by fidelity such as Notarize or Doc Verify. So I trust her, and I would have to assume that what she says here is valid. Okay, that it is Doc Verify. I mean, on Fidelity approved. So, all right, cool. So it is Fidelity approved. All right, and I'm just trying to check something here. So, has anybody heard about the new change where there's a possibility of us, well, not of us. I mean, there's where they can reclassify independent contractors as employees. I'm not going to get. I don't know if Cyberrise is not or not. I guess they might not be. I'm not sure. I haven't got on Cyberizer platform. I only use Doc Verify. Like it says right here. I only use Doc Verify. I'm not trying to do 5 or 6 platforms. They cost too much money. Okay, it costs way, way, way too much money. But if you've heard about the oh, she said no. Okay. So if you've heard about the change for independent contractors, put a one in the chat. I I heard about it a while ago and I just really didn't think too much of it, but it's a reality now. And on Monday the 11th, it's going to switch. So let me give y'all a brief understanding of it. And it's hard to find like straight information. Like, okay, here's what this bill is all about. There's a lot of people fussing about it, a lot of people who like it, who don't like it. But the bottom line is this: apparently, when Trump was in office, he made it a lot easier for employers to classify workers, W 2 workers, as independent contractors. And now this law reverses that to where the employer can classify an independent contractor as an employee. And apparently it's to provide the employee or this independent contractor who's working like an employee benefits and protections, because there's certain protections you get as an employee that you don't get as an independent contractor. So if y'all ever heard me talk about this, and I wish I could remember which videos it was, but I've talked about this independent contractors. If you go and look at my community tab, I got videos from several months back talking about the difference between the two. This is why I always talk about you have to be careful about how you're working for another company, regardless of the side hustle, whether it's Notary, DoorDash, Grubhub, all of them. You have to operate in a particular way, and there are federal and state laws about independent contractors and how we can and how we do what we do, and what control they have and what control they don't have. So if you understand what an independent contractor is in accordance with your state law and federal law, you have to then ask, okay, are they telling me to do stuff, or the way that I'm working with this person making me actually an employee? Now here's where a lot of people get confused. They think that being an independent contractor is just about you signing that document and agreeing to the terms in that document that says you don't work for us, you're not an employee. Dot dot dot. That's that's part of it. The other part is how you actually work with them. You actually have to work as an independent contractor. You can't be an independent contractor on paper and then the actual actions you do are as if you're an employee. Two totally different things. Google it. I'm telling you, look it up. IRS don't play, okay? Because there's certain taxes and things that the company doesn't have to pay. They don't have to put into Social Security and all of that. So the company saves a ton of money by having us as independent contractors. This is a game changer because depending on what industry you're in, they can make you an independent, W 2. And I got some serious thoughts on how all of this can work. And to me, they're not good, but it can happen. And you have to be mindful of that. So that means even the more you as a business owner, if you don't have your LLC, you may need to get your LLC. That may provide you protection, but you need to make sure you understand your state laws as well as the federal laws on what an independent contractor is. And it's up to you as well as the person who you contracting to make sure y'all follow those guidelines, because apparently they're going to be auditing these companies to make sure they have you classified correctly. So they can have you classified as an independent contractor, but if the way you're actually working for them is if you're an employee, then you're an employee. That's law. That's just the way it is. And this isn't up for debate. This is the way it is. This is, if the government do that, a lot of businesses will close down if they change the W. Correct. Because there's a lot more money into Social Security. Keep in mind, they're talking about trying to get Social Security fixed for the future. They're saying that all this gig work is hurting the Social Security for 40, 50 years down the road. It's meaning, let's say my people my age, I think I'm pretty fully vested with Social Security based on my younger years of working. But the young kids who are working now, if they're not putting into the Social Security, guess what? For the generation after them, as well as themselves, there's not going to be any Social Security for anybody. That means the government got to come more out of pocket, which means there's inflation because they got to go print money in order to fill the coffers of the Social Security Administration. You see how all of this plays out? So this is, to me, it's all about taxes, about getting more money into government through employers having employees. And that's a big deal. So, um, and you said, right, having employees is very costly and expensive. Um, I'd rather create a class action lawsuit instead if that's the case. And Uber, Lyft, I think Grubhub and a couple of others are fighting against that because they don't want to be forced to make these individuals employees. Because now the question is, if you're an employee with Grubhub, will Grubhub have you sign a contract saying you can't work for Instacart or Shipt or some other company or even some other company outside of them? Because once you become an employee, you got to work when they tell you to work, do what they tell you to do, and be available when they tell you to be available. So now, if you're trying to do four, five, six signings a day, and you're an employee, if you're trying to do five or six trips per day, and say do let's just say 12 trips a day, six with Uber and six with Lyft, can one of them make you sign an agreement in order to work with them that you won't go do work for a competitor? Now you got to choose which one you go with. So there's a chance that it can really interfere with the entrepreneurial spirit and really hurt. It can really hurt some things up. You see what I'm saying? Does the restaurants who use the bike people to deliver, do they now have to classify them as employees in order for them to use these people? I don't know. So this is all brand new and everything. And this is why I keep talking to y'all about competing. And there are people who are going to be like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Because they don't really want to fight for their business. They don't really want to do, they just want somebody to do everything for them. So for some people, this will be beautiful, perfect. But then for some of you, for others, it may not be. Just like your main job can say, hey, you're working for us, you can't work side hustles. But then what happens if you're working a side hustle and then now they say, well, you can't go work a regular job because you've been working with us and we want you to be available for whenever. That's that's how I'm thinking of it. But I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. So give me your thoughts. I like to hear, and also feel free to ask any notary questions, whatever you have going on. Um, so so far this month, things have been pretty good. I will say last minute signings are ramping up even more. You really got to get yourself together to do last minute signings. You really, really do. Because on my way home, hey, what's going on, Ronnie? On my way home tonight, about what, 2 hours ago? Yeah, about 2 hours ago, I'm driving down the road with the wife and get a notification email. So something said pull off to the side. I pull off to the side in the parking lot, look at it, an order from Old Republic for tomorrow at noon. All right, hit the button, accept. Just before we came on, I just got the documents for it. So I'm gonna print the documents. I got two orders tomorrow. I got an 11 o'clock, which isn't gonna take me that long, and then I got a 12 o'clock and get in, get out, and then boom, you know, buy some. But also some millionaires usually hires outside the US, like correct. And that's another thing that they're talking about is that they will start, depending on the company, depending on the industry, start pushing jobs overseas even more, which will do what? Increase unemployment here. So there's a lot of pushback on this. But come Monday, it is law. Um, those two videos that I put in the thing here, feel free to go take a look at them. But I'm telling you, this is no joke. This is why I'm trying to get y'all to really get into the mindset of being an entrepreneur. And I will tell you this, there are people who are starting to get it now. And I don't know whether it's because they've listened to me or they're just figuring it out on their own. But I will say this. Hi, my man Ray. What's going on? What's going on? Yep, that's my man there. He's been a faithful member for he probably just rejoined and everything. Because sometimes YouTube will kick you off, then you have to rejoin and all that kind of stuff. Um, so it said, I'm so confused. The new law is basically saying that you will be that companies, not you will be, but employers who use 1099s will have, I guess, more power or leeway to flip you into an employee or reclassify you as an employee. So um, um I can't play any of the videos here. I wish I could because if I did, man, you would be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. I get it. Um let's see if we can let's do this here real quick. Let's do this here real quick. Um right. Okay. Well, I got to look at it on my phone. So, okay. Um, hold on. Let me do this here. Let me take that down and let me do it like this. Take me out altogether. All right. And so, as you see here, so it talks about this is from the IRS. Okay. 1099 contract workers and W 2 employees are classified per the IRS based on how you work with and compensate them. This is talking to the employers. The IRS lists three dimensions to be aware of when you are classifying workers. Behavioral, okay, and I hope this is, let me zoom this in probably just a little bit more for y'all. Behavioral, okay. Does the company control how the worker does the job? The more you control things such as workers work schedule, location, the tools they use, methods they use to complete the task, more likely they are classified as an employee. Financial, does the company control business aspects of the worker's job, such as how they are paid and whether they can seek other work in the market? If the answer is yes, it's more likely the worker should be considered an employee rather than a contractor. Type of relationship. Does the employer provide benefits such as insurance or paid time off? Is the job expected to last indefinitely? Are the provided services a key aspect of the business? If any of these are true, it's possible a worker should be classified as an employee. So it's talking about example of 1099s. Freelance writers who work on an assignment basis rather than set hours, consultants who support the company for a project with a clear um, start and end date, gig workers who perform services and gets paid through an app, freelance designers, developers, so forth and so on. So, and I'll just drop this link, and this is from Forbes. Come back to y'all real quick. You see what I'm saying? So this is what they're talking about, and this is why I keep saying you got to make sure you understand. You can't listen to all of these trainers out here. You can't just follow what they're saying because they have an agenda. A lot of them have signing companies. A lot of them, you know, want you to learn how to do this business their way so that when you're doing stuff for their signing company, and there's several of them out there, okay? Not I know which one y'all think I'm talking about, but I'm talking about it's a lot of them because some of the trainers are working in conjunction with some of the platforms and other signing companies that they may not own, but they are partnered with them in somehow. And it's like, hey, we'll train them and then we'll send them your way. Mm-mm. That might be illegal. Illegal. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't know. But you're sort of dictating this like, okay, we're going normally a 1099 goes and gets the skills themselves. And no, and then get the work, and then it's like, okay, either you can do the job or you can't. So it's a serious subject. Not a lot of people like to deal with it, and I'm just glossing over it. But what I'm saying is, you got to make sure you're classified correctly, because if you're not, Uncle Sam could come after you, and you don't want that. Okay, so this is talking about how you're classified, which affects your taxes, which means if you're classified as a worker, all of this driving, the printer paper, all of that who's going to pay for that? How are you getting reimbursed? Because it's not a tax deduction for what's a business expense if you're an employee. You see what I'm saying? It says I've been full time since 2011 when jobs started failing. Yeah, that's the thing. He says no job is guaranteed anymore. Those days are gone. Correct. That is 100% correct. And thank y'all for hitting the like button. This is this is where we're at. So the thing you have to figure out to do is how you're going to compete. Okay. Regardless whether you're W-2 or 1099, are you willing to compete? Are you willing to get out there and compete? And I'm not talking about being dirty and going underhanded, but actually compete, meaning have the necessary skills and then do those skills better than everybody else. Because competition, in my opinion, comes from you being confident. The more confident you are, the, the more apt you are to compete, the more willing you're to compete because you feel you got a leg up on everybody else. If you agree with that, put a one in the chat. If you disagree, put a two. If you, so how confident you are, in my opinion, determines your willingness to compete. If you go into a job interview and you know you don't have an associate's degree, and they look and you know all the other people have associate's degree, you might not feel confident. Not that you're not trying to compete, but your confidence ain't going to be there, and it's going to be hard for you really to compete if you don't have the right skill sets to showcase. It's that simple. When you're trying to date somebody, you barely got a job, you living with your mama, and well, actually, you splitting time between your mama or your parents. So sometimes, you got both parents, but you splitting time between 3 or 4 different houses, and you don't have anywhere solid. And then you trying to push up on somebody, man. You trying to, hey, girl, what's up? I, well, this week I'm with, Ray Ray, and then next week I'm gonna be sleeping with Shaquanda, and then after that I'm gonna be with, Kylie. We're like, whoa, 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 no. So when you're not solid, when you're not confident, your confidence is based off of your solidness. So in the notary business, we got to be more educated. We got to be knowledgeable. The question is, what are you getting your knowledge in? And I believe we're being educated wrongly, because if you really think about it, you take a serious inventory of what you see in these Facebook groups. A lot of people who have taken the courses from these folk are still saying how scared they are still saying how unsure they are. And if you're taking this training at two, three, and $500, if you're sitting here spending $29 a month, and after 6 months you're still scared to go out here and do the business, either it's a problem with you or with the training. Which one? I don't know, but it's a problem. So you have no confidence to go out there after 6 months of training. You have no confidence of going out there after a $500 course. You have no confidence of going out there after you spent what, 2 or 3, couple of, went to about 2 or 3 conferences and meetups. You see what I'm saying? So where's the confidence at? Now I know y'all. Okay, so this is the thing. You got to get the proper knowledge so you can compete. You wouldn't send your son or daughter out there to be a medical doctor if they didn't get the proper knowledge. And see, I don't know when we're going to get it, but Another issue is that if you're operating outside of who you're supposed to be, that right there interferes with your confidence. If you're operating outside of who you should be and what you should be doing, that will interfere with your confidence almost every single time. Meaning, if you're supposed to be operating as the quarterback of the football team, but you're sitting up here trying to act like you're a wide receiver, that ain't gonna work. If you're an offensive lineman, but you're trying to act like you are a running back, that ain't gonna work. And that's what makes team sports, especially sports, so powerful, is that everybody understands their role and position and they do it well. And each team that has individuals that does their part correctly and with quality and with professionalism, it empowers the team to win. And the only time you lose is if somebody is way better than you, or you make some type of error that gives them, sorry about that, y'all, that gives them an error. Hold on, this is my son. Hold on, let me text him real quick. Let me do a screenshot. Hold on, let me just got this notification. If I can spell it. Notification. All right. But yeah, so everybody got to work together. So in our what we're doing, if you're I think a lack of proper education, and again, if you think that I'm saying this correct, follow me now. If you think that I'm saying this correctly, hey, what's going on now? What I believe the problem is, if you're not properly educated into what you're supposed to be doing, and you've been educated into doing a role or operating in a way that you're not supposed to, that can create a huge sense of a lack of confidence. I'm just waiting for my son to reply. So if you can, and if you have a lack of confidence because you're not sure about how you're supposed to do your job, how you're supposed to do stuff, then guess what? You can't compete. How can you compete when you're not confident in being a notary, notarizing properly? Now, of course, many of you is like, well, I can't do this job because I don't know how to what? Explain the documents. But we're not supposed to be explaining the documents. Okay. He was about to go to sleep. Okay. You know, yeah, might be a hacker. All right. But yeah, that's the thing. So I had to learn for myself. Let me learn the right way to do this job. And the moment that I start learning the right way to do not just my W-2 jobs, but this business, things work better and I was able to compete. That's why I'm able, if y'all see me, I share with y'all on a consistent basis the stuff that I'm doing out here. And I'm able to compete with the best of them because what? Put myself in a position because I have the proper knowledge and I'm able to do what? Take on last minute orders, this, that, and the other. You call me, I can do it. I can make you happy. I can, do what it takes to make you happy and get the job done. And what I was saying earlier is that I believe some people are either they're listening to what I've been saying or they're figuring out that being certified and having all of these accolades is not translating at least not for everybody or a majority of people, it's not translating into actual dollars. You have all these certification. Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, he said, oh no, 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 I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Okay, all right. Now I'm just trying to make sure somebody probably was trying to hack into his account. You know how these folk do. Okay, I'm gonna have to, because you know how these young folk, they don't be putting high quality passwords in there. Okay. Then change your password. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Um, yeah, let me just make sure he understands. Then change your password. Yeah, probably just him. All right, cool. All right, but yeah, yeah, you know how people, yeah, because kids they be leaving their emails open and all that kind of stuff. So he said he's good. He's good now. Just filled my notary bond and took the oath. But good for another 4 years. That is excellent, Jeff. But once I started focusing on doing things the correct way, then I was able to compete. And then people was like, okay, well, so you do know what you're talking about. And this is what's crazy. And you can tell because when you sit there, let's say you had a closing, and one of the biggest issues, like the one I got tomorrow, I just picked up 3 hours ago that I got tomorrow at noon. Remember, last minute signings is 24 hours or less from the time you got the notification. So mine is basically about 18 hours. So when I got the notification to when I do it tomorrow, it's gonna be 18 hours. I look and I see that they had her signed it in two different names, her current name and her maiden name. You got to know the law as to what you can do in that situation. And when you can express that to a loan officer or to an escrow officer and let them know, hey, this is what the law is and this is how this has to work, they feel confident in you. So you got to be confident. And then your confidence pulls people to be confident in you, which means what? You can compete and you can get more work. That's that's what this is all about. The reason why a lot of notaries aren't getting work is primarily because the people who have the ability to give you work, they're not confident in you. Because they're not confident in you, they're like, I ain't giving you no work. I don't believe you can do it. I don't believe you know what you're doing. Okay, so what is the know what you can doing? Being a notary. Do you really know what you're supposed to do as a notary? Because that's the only thing that they can grade you on. They can't grade you on what you say about the documents because they're not there. There's no videotape of it unless you're sitting there direct. But even if they are sitting there with you in an office somewhere and they hear you speak, even if you misspeak the document about the document and they clean it up, okay, well, cool. Well, maybe you just need to shut up and just sign and stamp. But as long as you sign and stamp correctly, boom, you're able to make money because that's what you can do. And I've only had one person not want to work with me because, yeah, I figured he rejoined because of a new car. I've only had one person not want to work with me because of that, because I won't explain the documents. Everybody else is like, they understand. That ain't your job. That's not what you're supposed to do. I've had one say, it'll be nice, but we understand if you don't. Okay. We don't want you to get in trouble because we know your commission is important. I said, thank you. So as I do what I'm supposed to do, that builds confidence in the other people. And this is why I'm saying everybody has to do their part. The reason, in my opinion, why we're having such a hard time in this notary business with the lenders, with the title, with the signing companies, with the notaries, is that we're not respecting each other to do their role. We're looking for the signing company. Where's those documents at? That ain't the job of the signing company. That's the title company's job. We're looking at the lender to do this. No, that's the signing company's job. We're looking at the title company. No, that's the lender's job. If everybody stays in their lane and do what they're supposed to do in excellence, and then we respect what each other's supposed to do, how can we not be working as a well-oiled machine? That's it says they it was you to do your job and some yeah, they want you to trying to say they want you to do your job and someone else's. And that's the problem. So why I feel sometimes these trainers are actually trying to train us to be like W-2 employees with some of the stuff that they're telling us to do. I'm like, man, that's a W-2. My contract is to do the notarizations. Now you talking about I gotta file stuff and reorganize documents and I gotta go no, 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 no. Print stuff and get things ready for the shipping and all that. I don't care if I am in the title. Then if you didn't hire Griffin Notary Services to do all of that, because I don't see you doing this extra stuff for the lender. And if you are, that's between you and them. You see what I'm saying? That's between you and them. So if everybody did their job, and just think about it, for those of you who got kids, your biggest complaint a lot of time with the school system is the teacher ain't doing his or her job. The principal's not doing their job. The school resource officer, the guidance counselor, everybody's worried about all this other stuff. Don't worry about how much I work. You do your work and make sure my kid gets educated. Well, it would be nice if you could come. Look, I got to work two, three jobs. I don't have time. Do your job. Get out of my family's business. And y'all know I'm telling you the truth. But the problem is in the notary business, everybody's trying to control the other. Here's the thing. When people aren't properly trained and you have no confidence in them, you tend to want to control them more. When a signing company looks at how notaries are performing, they don't know what they're doing. That's what they say. Notaries don't know what they're doing. So what do? Let me control them. Let me institute some controls over these notaries. Let me institute some kind of control over these notaries. When the title company not doing their job, the lender institutes certain controls. When the signing company's not doing what they do, they institute some type of control. You see what I'm saying? So how do you break that? Is by everybody learning what they're supposed to do it in excellence. So then that way the signing company can say, "Hey, I ain't got to worry about Griff." The title company can say, I ain't got to worry about so and so signing company. The lender can say, I don't have to worry about the title company. And the home buyer or seller can say, I don't have to worry about the real estate agent or the lender doing their job. If everybody does this stuff in excellence, if everybody stops trying to take shortcuts, if everybody stops trying to get over on each other, get over on the system, you're going to pay me. You want me to print 10 pages more than what I normally feel like doing on a rainy day. No, you see what I'm saying? There's all when we get out of this trying to get over and just do great work, people be more than willing to pay you. But it's like, no, I don't know, you're gonna pay me. But you want me to do what? You want me to scan who? No, 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 no. You're gonna pay me and you're gonna pay me now. It's like that's why you see some of the signing companies, especially in signing order, they got big letters. Do not send an invoice. They telling you, don't send an invoice. We're gonna pay you. And this is when we're gonna pay you. Well, I need to get paid now. Okay, then you then you probably should have did some general notary work. But you're doing the loan closing. This is how it flows. You see what I'm saying? So we got to be able to show people that they can believe in us and have confidence in us. But it starts by properly understanding what we're doing. And when you have that, boom, And then you can compete with everybody else because we all know this. With everything even, if everybody was getting $200 a signing, there's still going to be probably about 75 to 80% of the people out there not putting forth the best effort because they get lazy. Oh, I get $200. I show up whenever I feel like it. I'll do this because if they acting a fool at the lower fees, don't think that the higher fees is going to make them act better. It's not. It is truly not. Just like a person driving a raggedy car, like they can you can say, man, I don't know how to drive. Don't think just because they got a $85,000 Mercedes, 120,000 BMW, that they're going to be any better. No, a bad driver is a bad driver. They got to get their skills together. And this is what we have to do. We have to get our skills together. If we don't have our skills together, then guess what? No matter how much we're getting paid or not paid, we're still not going to do the job right. And the problem is that people don't want to admit that. They want to actually think that, oh, well, if they paid me more, I act right. Well, you getting paid more at your W-2 and you ain't acting right. You get paid a grip at your W-2, some of y'all, and you don't act right. You ready to every day you go into work, you ready to cuss your manager out. Whether you're a contractor or a government worker, you ready to cuss somebody out. And you take pride in that. And you sit back like, and you looking like, what? I wish you would say something about me being on an extended break. And you bring that right on into this. No discipline, no nothing. You're acting crazy in this business just like you did in your other business. And let's just say you were more disciplined in your W-2, but then you listen to the wrong people in your entrepreneur aspect, and then you start acting a fool. That's why I said, what are you getting trained in? Everybody talking about, I need training. What are you trying to get trained in? Well, I need to know the documents. Okay, you learned the documents and you're still scared to go out there and do the work. So apparently, learning the documents is not the answer. The question is, and please, somebody put it in the chat. What is the answer? What is the answer to the known issue of people who become notaries after 6 months or a year, they still won't go out there and do a closing? What is the answer? What is the solution to this? That's what I want to know. Not take another certification, not go to another conference, go to another meetup, because none of that is helping anybody move forward. Hmm? Think about the last conference you went to. From that conference to now, how many closes have you done? Has your confidence gotten better? Has it? Because also a part of your confidence building is the ability to deal with the fact that you might make a mistake or you did make a mistake. The ability to deal with some difficulties during a closing that you don't tell and run and say, I'm done with this. Your ability, that confidence, building the confidence enables you to deal with the fact, oh, at the last minute, you got your documents and it's 225 pages. Because there are some companies out there, oh goodness, I wish I could remember which one it was. They're doing this thing where when you do the closing, and it's on signature closers, when you do the closing, and I can't remember which company, but it's on signature closers, you'll get 200 and some pages for a refi. The reason why is because they're adding their initial loan application to the refi, meaning when you do the closing for the refi, you also have a 50-page loan application in there because they never gave it to them to sign in ink. They just did it digitally. So now they're doing it at the closing. I don't know the legalities of that. All I know is I've seen it multiple times. I'm sitting here like, why do I have 225 pages? Because they're doing the refis of 175, and then they're adding another 50 for, oh, you're signing the actual loan application that was initially sent to them that they e-sign, but they have to have it in ink. with the loan estimate and everything. And I'm like, okay, that's confusing. You got them signing stuff off on the loan estimate, this, that, and the other, but we're already at closing. You got to be willing to deal with that. You got to be have the confidence to do that and deal with it, all of that. And that's what's missing. You see what I'm saying? Like my man said, I'll watch another notice channel who seems to always complain about those things. She seems like she wants everybody to rise up. People are scared to rise up. And I'm not calling for that. I'm just saying what it is. People are afraid. You don't how many people you hear talking like I'm talking out here? The majority of the trainers out there, or the majority of the YouTube people are talking about some other course to take. Just market, market, market. Just keep marketing. Just keep telling people you're out there. But they're not dealing with the difficulties. They're not telling you their struggles. They're not telling you how they handle shipping documents to the wrong people like I shared with y'all. They won't do that. Oh no, heck no. I'm not gonna tell you that I got fallacies. No, they don't because they got to be pristine and clean and clear to y'all so you can because people don't want to pay anybody money who got errors in their life. They want to pay people who have no errors. Oh, you're perfect. You're oh wow. Then that's what I want because that's what I strive for myself. But yet you're not doing anything to be perfect in what you do. But you want to pay somebody a whole lot of money for their fake perfectness. And you let me say off of that. You say people use money as an excuse not to work. I'm sure we know who. Yeah, I was referring to her complaining about the money. Well, yeah, and see again, what is the money we should be getting paid? Because with everything, you are assigned to put the cookies in the box. What makes you think that the that putting the cookies in the box is worth $30 an hour? Hmm? You are supposed to stamp the document. Why does the doc stamping of the document have you for this here order? You need to get paid $250. What's the justification of that? Is it because that's really all you want to make per day and you just want to do that one time and you don't feel like ripping and running and going all over the place? Is that the reason why? If that is, then say so. But just because that's what you want, 250, am I in a position to pay 250? And I've talked about this many, many times. And it's interesting how people who are notaries, they tend to believe that everybody else in this whole food chain of the mortgage industry has all the money in the world to pay them. But in your W 2, you accept the fact that when your management comes or the team lead or whoever comes and say, yeah, we just got out the annual meeting. They say they don't have any money for a raise. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I'm good. I'll make ends meet. I got water. I'll I'll heat up the I'll find some reverse osmosis to separate the water from the mouthwash, and I'll drink that if I get thirsty. Yeah, I'll just eat some Vaseline. I'll be good. That'll coat my stomach. In your W two, you accept people saying we don't have the money to pay you. In this year, you're like, no, you do have money to pay me, and you're going to pay me. Y'all tell me if I'm lying. Please tell me if I'm lying. Please tell me if I'm lying. And he says, I noticed an increase in sign. There, yeah, in one regard, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it was slow, then it started picking up for me. Like you said in previous video, take what is being offered on average. We got bills to pay. That is correct. We got bills to pay. And I don't understand. My thing is this. This is the challenge that I have for anybody who is still currently working a W 2. and you want and you're doing this business and you feel you need to get paid $200 per signing or all this extra, when your job says we have no money to pay you, give you a raise, I want you to quit. The moment they say we don't have, you ain't got to finish the sentence. I'm out. I want you to walk off because they don't have the money to pay you, but you feel you should get paid more. They don't have it, so you need to walk. You need to quit right then and there and just bounce. It's that simple. And then when you go and apply for another job and you tell them how much you want to get paid, if they say, "Well, we're not able," oh, the moment they say not able, shh, 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 you just tell them, "Shh, you ain't got to finish your sentence. I already know I'm out." That's how you're supposed to live your life. Because if that's how you live in your life as a notary, if somebody says, "Yeah, we got this order for $65. Well, I want 110. Oh, we can't pay you 110. Then you say, "Well, I'm out." That's what you're being told to do. That's what everybody. No, they rise up. We're gonna fight this. The only thing I'm saying, if I was to say rise up, is for is being treated with respect because each company is different. So how do you make every company pay you? Because you can't make every company pay you in your W-2 world. You can't make Walmart pay you what Target pays you. You can't make J.C. Penney to pay you what Sears paid you. If they still, I don't think they're still around. You can't make McDonald's pay you what Burger King was paying. You accept what they offer. Either you cool with it or you're not. Matter of fact, they're paying you $2 less, but they give you a little bit more. They give you more hours. They're paying you $5 less, but you get certain benefits, certain company benefits that you didn't get at the other one. You find a way to see the positive in it. The problem is nobody's looking at the positive of being an entrepreneur and having the ability to work for yourself and to set your own schedule to as much as you can, depending on various different factors. Nobody's looking at the positive of that. I look at the positive that I get to spend time with my wife, that I get to hang out with her, that I get to wake up every morning and I'm sitting here chilling, and I don't necessarily have to start my day until after I drop her off to her school. And then she goes and does her cosmetology teaching for her students and does her salon part for her clients while I'm out making money. And then we come back home at the end of the day. So yes, there was an order that I did for 45. Yes, there was an order I did for 20. Yes, there's an order I did for 105. Yes, I did an order I did for 200. But guess what? I also got to spend time with my family. I also got to be there for my family. Where's the positive? Can you find the positive in this? But too many of you are looking at the negative. And I honestly believe the reason why you're looking at the negative of this business or looking at this business in a negative light is because of people constantly whining about what they don't have. They're not complaining about what you don't have. They're complaining about what they don't have. I don't have the pay from this company that I want. I don't have this for what I want. I want this. They're sitting there like a little baby crying because they want to eat French fries and their stomach hasn't developed to that. I want French fries. Well, you can't handle eating French fries. You're gonna keep eating the rice cereal. And for some of y'all, that's where y'all at. Y'all still stuck on rice cereal and you haven't done anything to prove to these people that you can handle it. What have you done to prove to them that you can handle it? They send you an order, and the first thing you say, well, you gonna pay me for scans? Okay, you ain't ready for me. You're not ready. You're just looking at the here and now. You're not even thinking that, okay, I'm asking you to do this quick job for me for $85, and your crazy behind is worrying about whether I'm paying you for scans, and I got an order that's coming down the pipe that's doom 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 doom. A contract that's bam, hitting it. Yeah, I love me some grits. Grits, I love my grits. Sometimes I eat grits in the middle of the night. I just love grits. Those sometimes I throw a little cheese on there, but I like my grits just some butter and some salt, and I'm good. That's all I need. Butter, salt, and I'm good. My grits. I don't put no onions in it, or no, I mean onion powder and all that, black pepper. Just some salt, butter. I like ghee butter, and I'm good to go all day, every day. But you think, I mean, that's where we're at. So it's like we got to figure this thing out. We really, really, really do. We really got to figure this thing out. I just forgot what I was just saying. If y'all remember what I was just saying, tell me real quick. That's because I started talking about grits and I got lost. I know I will. I promise y'all, next Friday I will have a fritter. And I just forgot what my thought was before I started talking about grits. But yeah, that's the thing. If you are a W-2, you yeah, we put up with all kinds of stuff. But as a business owner, don't worry about it, man. It'll pop in if somebody remembers. Just throw it in the chat and I'll hop back on it. But my thing is simply this. That's a good question. Is it more is it normal for an order to have more than one? Now, are you talking about more? Yeah, I know I was talking about the pricing. Oh, something about the pricing. It is normal for us to have more than one job. If you're an entrepreneur, you can take as many jobs as you can handle. If you go back and look at some of my older videos, even just this year, I talk about the fact that I'm doing 5 and 6 and 9, closings in a day, and I'm working for multiple different companies. So I have a order for Old Republic tomorrow, and I think Villa Title. So those two different companies. You know, if you're talking about being a notary and then working a W-2, you can do that if you want. Being a notary and doing another side hustle, you can do that if you want. Um, you can do all of that. You were talking about people asking for more money. Oh, for scans. Thank you. So yeah. So you got people sitting up here saying, case in point, case in point. One of the companies that I do some work for, and I don't get that many from them, but they call me every time they have one in my area. Called Nationwide Signing Service, nssnotary.com. nssnotary.com. The lady was saying, I can't be remember these folk name, but I've done stuff for this one particular company that they have as a client. And she said we're starting to get more business from them. So I'm primarily the main notary that they call. They don't just send a blast out like, hey, no, they actually like, hey, are you available? They call me. Orders may pay 80 to 100 depending. Sometimes they pay 80, sometimes they pay 100, but they all require scans. I just do the orders and get them done. And they don't take but maybe 15 minutes at the most for me to do. And then I scan, and I'm talking about, let me tell you, hold on, let me pull it up real quick. How many pages was that? Because I've done, where is it? And that was there's the preview. 22 pages. 22 pages. And then this one, that's a different one. 21 pages on that one. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, 22 pages. So for this one particular client, they have 22 pages, 80 to $100. I don't even ask them what the fee is. I just whatever they send, I just take it because they feed me. They do me good. If they say they need scans, they get scans. If they say no scans, they don't get scans. I don't question all of that. I just go ahead on and do the job. And they have confidence in me because what? I'm doing what they need done, which is helping them service their client. So I'm doing my job, while they're doing their role, their job, and then their client is doing their role, their job for their client. How hard is that? Why can't we just get that in our heads and then go execute it and make that a part of our life? Why do we have to try to demand that everybody puts us up here on this level. If you're looking at the notary business and saying, well, as a notary, you're down here, you're just some peon, then don't do this business. That's why I don't like all of these notaries who listen to these other trainers and come back with this. Well, I'm more than a notary. I'm a loan signing agent. I'm a notary signing agent. I'm more than just that. Then more than that, just that on somewhere else. Don't call me asking for help when your loan signing person, notary signing person won't answer your phone calls because your debit card ain't got no more money on it. Yeah. Yeah. I get phone calls a lot of times from folk talking about, well, I'm a loan signing agent, and I always had this question that why are you asking me? You just NSA, LSA, go to them, but you ain't got no more money. And you still waiting for your $200 signings, and you spending all your money with them at $40 a month, and you're behind broke, and you can't get a solid answer out of their little jacked up Facebook group. So then you like, oh yeah, somebody told me to give you a call. And I could be mean and I could be really, really, really petty and say, okay, well, hit my cash app first and then I'll talk to you. But I don't. I don't even ask anybody for anything. I don't ask if they give me something cool, but if they don't, it's like I don't ask for nothing here. I'm like, hey, well, I mean, I got that little screen thing, that thing, stream elements. I'm testing that out, and that pops up there about donating, but that's because they say you're supposed to do that as a YouTuber. Okay, that's why I don't even talk about that. I just do it because that's what they say I'm supposed to do. That's supposed to help your channel grow because there's people out there that like to donate. And from time to time, I do get people who just randomly donate and they're not even a notary. So they just like the stuff that I say. So I'm like, all right, cool. I appreciate you. So that's why I have it. But other than that, you can't, the person you pay 500 to, you're broke and you can't pay them any more money and they don't want to talk to you. This is where we're at, people. And then the moment you get some more money, instead of you moving on and learning the business yourself, you go right back to them and start paying them money until you're broke again. And then you call Griff, hey, can you help me? I got this closing and I need some help. And then when you get your money, you run back to them. And then when you're broke, you call me. Go to them when you got money in the pocket, then you call me. You get your tax return, you give it to them. You call me when you're broke. You see what I'm saying? That's all you're doing. You go get some money from your Uncle Bo. Then when that money runs out with them, you call me. I got this split signing. And then and people can tell that you have no confidence in what you're supposed to do. But this is what's going on. We as individual business owners on the notary side, we got to get better. We got to do better. We have to make up our mind that we're going to do what is right because it's right. But we got to first learn what is right. Then we can do it. And you can't, the biggest thing, you can't be afraid to do what is right. And yes, there are companies out there, lenders, title company, and signing companies, that if you actually do your job correctly in accordance with your state guidelines as a notary, they won't mess with you. They will not mess with you. They will leave you alone. They won't give you an order or anything. If they know, like for me, a lot of these companies know I'm not collecting closing funds because my state law says I'm not supposed to. And if if the name is Jane Smith, and then they want her to sign formerly known as Jane Jones, but she doesn't have ID in both of those names in accordance with Virginia law, and they don't have a credible witness, and I don't personally know them, I'm not doing a closing. Well, other notaries, well, we verified it with her birth certificate. I'm not allowed to take that. I can't take, and in my state law, it says I can't take a third party's word on the verification of a person's identity. You are third party. I'm the first party. Well, they're the first party. I'm the second party. You, Mr. and Miss Title Company, I can't take your word on it. And the documents that you use aren't allowed for me in my state. So no, I can't do the notarization on this here. I can only notarize the signature that I have proper proof of in accordance with my state laws. And there are companies out there that won't mess with me because of that. It's that simple. There's companies out there that don't mess with me because I won't allow them or their clients to disrespect me. That's a whole nother story in and of itself. But there's stuff that's going on like that. So if you're going to do things right and there's somebody out there trying to do things wrong, they're not going to rock with you. And you have to be strong and willing to deal with that. And do I like it? Has it cost me opportunities to make money? Yes. But if I get caught doing something wrong, there's a chance that I could go to jail. I could lose my commission for I think up to 20 years here in Virginia. And where they gonna be at the person who conned me, and that's to me what it is. You conned me into doing something that I'm not supposed to do. You guilt tripped me into it by saying, well, all the other notaries do it. I mean, I don't understand why somebody who's signing in their former name needs to have proper ID for you to notarize it. Really? Then why are you demanding that I send you a copy of their driver's license when you already got a copy when they submitted their loan application? What about them apples? Oranges, bananas, and tangerines. We got to think common sense. You're literally having a fit because I don't have a copy of their driver's license or their driver's license expired, and you're saying you can't close the loan and fund it, or fund the loan then close it because you don't have the proper ID, but yet I'm not supposed to have the proper ID. I'm trying to do it in accordance with my state law. And you're telling me, nah, you don't need that. Why? Because me doing it the right way interferes with what you're trying to do. And I'm not saying that what they're trying to do is wrong, is that they're trying to fund and close the loan. But no one told Jane Smith that she needs to sign as Jane Jones. And that the law in that state is that she has to have proper ID, which will be the same, and I believe, in almost all states. And in some states, they do allow you to have an expired ID that the notary can take. My state doesn't. And then on top of that, you don't tell the notary ahead of time. The notary finds out when they get the documents. You see what I'm saying? So if everybody, back to what I was saying, if we all do things in what? Excellence. Excellence is this: know the law, understand the basics of a notary. The notary is notarizing the signature, not the document. So if I'm notarizing the signature, meaning that I'm saying that person is the person that appeared before me, which means I have proper proof of that, then why don't you let everybody know that that needs to happen? And find out, hey, notary, what is your state law requirements for this? Okay, well, at the beginning of this whole process, you need to have two dot dot dot. For Virginia, you need to have two credible witnesses. It's that simple. Or one, if me and the witness know each other, then I can take that because I know them, and then okay. But most of the time, I don't. You see what I'm saying? Do things in excellent. Why is that so hard? Why? Because either you do it excellent from the beginning, or it's going to get done excellent when it hits me. So it's best to get it straight before it even gets to me. It's best to give me heads up. It's best to find out the law and get it done right. But that's not what is happening. And then they want the notary to just it's okay, it's okay. We know who she is. Don't I don't know who she is. This is my first time meeting her or him because you can have the same thing for a gentleman. This is my first time knowing. No. And you say, well, how could it happen for a gentleman? John Williamson, he was adopted And come to find out, his birth parents are alive, and he and these people conned his parents out of into adopting him or stole him, because that can happen. So now he's like, wait a minute, all this time I'm supposed to be John Johnson, and now you got me as a Williamson because you stole me from my parents, and now I find out no, I'm changing my name back. But he bought a house as John Williamson. Now he's going to refinance it so it can be in John Johnson. Well, they want proper ID for that. That's what I have to have. That's law. It says in this notarial statement, the foregoing instrument was acknowledged before me by this person, aka that person, and has proven with satisfactory evidence of driver's license, passport, dot, dot, dot. So when that happened, when it's in that statement, what satisfactory evidence do I have of that name and that name? That's your teaching for tonight. And I've talked about this before. I'm saying this so you can get this in your head, because it's all about us doing things right. So forget all of this. Hey, here's another certification. Hey, here's a new way to market yourself. After the certification and after the marketing, are you doing what you're supposed to do as a notary correctly? Do you have confidence that you can do it correctly? Because when you have confidence that you know what you're doing and know what your state law says, when somebody comes up to you and demands that you do it opposite, you be like, no, uh-uh, I'm not doing that, because here's what my state law says. I'm bound by the oath that I took to do it in accordance with what my state law says. Man, see, you getting all legalistic. I'm doing things right. Any questions? Any questions, people? Any questions whatsoever? We've been going about an hour and 20 minutes. Any questions, any concerns, any thoughts, any opinions, any yays, any nays? Talk to me, okay? Because y'all know I can talk all night long. But I just want y'all to be successful in this business. And you can if you do it right. You don't need to be looking over your shoulder, wondering whether the notary police is going to snatch you up, because you're doing something that somebody told you to do, and nobody in your whole life or business life can even confirm whether or not you're supposed to be doing it that way. They just been doing it and it's just been working. And somebody tell me the right way to do it. Oh, that is the bomb. We have a place here called Duck Donuts. Duck Donuts. Oh my goodness, that maple and bacon on the top, that is the bomb. Trying to get away from the bacon stuff, but it is delicious. Oh man, that one is so on fire. Duck Donuts. Yeah, that place is lovely. Where is here it is. I hope this works. Hmm. This one right here. This one right here. Oh yeah, bacon in the sun. Ooh, that thing is lovely. Yeah, yeah. That's all I got to say. Maple icing, chopped bacon, salted caramel drizzle. All three of those are some of my favorite foods. I love bacon. I love salted caramel, and I love maple. I got pure maple syrup. I don't get any no more of that fake syrup stuff. I spend the money to get pure maple syrup. That's what I have now. I just pure maple syrup. That's what I use. If it ain't pure maple syrup, I don't mess with it. Pure maple syrup. That's what I use. Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. Yeah. So, oh man, that is. See, now you're making me think about it. because I got to go out to um got them closings tomorrow, and I might have to might have to hit it up. Um, I might have to hit it up. Yeah, I'm trying to see. Yeah, because right here in Virginia Beach, um, we got what? Uh, one, two, three, four, five, six. So we got six of them. I ain't really that close to any of them, to be honest. So I got to look at which direction I'm going for. Going tomorrow, and I think I'm going over here tomorrow. And if I'm going over here, Kings Grant area, I might just snag one. Might snag one at everything, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. So, are there any other questions, concerns, thoughts, ideas about this business, about anything with, even just basic entrepreneurship? I'm always willing to answer questions and hear what you have to say. Because, like I said, I keep saying it over and over. I really want y'all to succeed, and I truly believe you can. Can things be difficult with this business? Can things be slow? Can things be fast? Yes. Can things be stressful? Yes. But the bigger question is, do you feel that you're built for this entrepreneurship? And I honestly, and let's just be real. I'm gonna ask this question. I don't know how many people will be honest. Do you feel that you doing this notary business, whether the loan signing, apostille, general notary, certified trust delivery agent, that's the new thing now, or any part of the notary business, do you feel, do you really feel that you are built for this, to do this? Do you feel that you're built for, that's the first question. Do you feel that you're built for this? If you feel that you're built for this, that, hey, I can do this, even though you might not have done much, but you feel, then in other words, is it more than what you thought? And if you feel you're built for this, even though it's more than what you, put a one in the chat. Just type a one. For me, yeah, it's definitely a one. It's definitely a one. Do you feel that you are truly built for this? Um, Put a one in the chat that you built to do this here. The other question is, do you feel that the information that you heard about the business and the reality of the business are one and the same? Do you feel, if you do, put a two in the chat. If you don't think it is, put a three. In other words, if what you heard about the business doesn't line up with the reality of the business, put a three in the chat. If it does, put a two. I think that's how I was saying. But basically, y'all know what I'm talking about. Basically, you might have been lied to. I'm just being real. You know, because this business, I mean, it's like, okay, people saying it's all of this, that, and the other, and it ain't lived up to none of what people said it was supposed to. And let me ask this question. And if and type of four, if this is for you, type of four, if this is for you. Do you, after looking at the business for however long you've been a part of this, do you feel like you should just bow out of the business, but yet you're afraid to do so because of either you spent too much money on equipment, or you're afraid that if things change and things start popping in a positive, you might miss out? But you really want to give up on this thing. You really want to let it go because it ain't nothing like what the people told you it was, but yet you're a little bit hesitant to give up on it because of what you've invested into it, or the fact that you think it might just change next week for me and then I might start making my money back. Put a four in the chat. Put a four in the chat if you feel that that's you, because some people have recently told me that is them, that they want to give up on this business, but they are afraid to because they're thinking that the moment they turn away from this business, things might start popping. Some people will say, I want to go back to just take a job, but I'm worried that the business might pop. And all of a sudden I start getting business coming in. Or man, I don't spend all this money. What I'm gonna do with these printers? Nobody won't buy them. I ain't gonna get my money's worth out of them. I want to get some use out of them. But you really want to give up on the business. And there are people who really and truly want to give up on this business, but they are afraid to. They say, I feel like that about my real estate license. I mean, see, the reason why I'm asking these questions is because this is where real growth comes in at. You have to do a reality check with yourself. And there's no trainer out there that's going to help you do this. They don't care. And I don't care. Look, some of the trainers I'm cool with, I like, but let's just be real. They don't care because you're a grown person, and that's on you. You need to come to, to come to whoever in your spiritual life is moment and just be like, okay, this is what it is, or this is what it isn't for me. So you got to start being honest with yourself. Growth in any aspect comes from you being honest with yourself. What do you think of this business? Where do you feel you're at with this business? Are you willing to be committed to it? Are you willing to sacrifice all that you have to make this thing work? Are you willing to sacrifice anything? If you are, then what? What can you sacrifice? I'm willing to sacrifice a whole lot, but I'm not there yet. Okay, so then what can you sacrifice? When you are honest with yourself, it opens the door for growth. It's no different than in a relationship. And this is what this is all about, relationships, people. I know I'm supposed to be closing, but hey, this is all about relationships. When you're dating somebody, when you're married to somebody, it's about being open and honest and admitting to where y'all at. I had a bad childhood and I'm gonna need some help being a father. I'm gonna need some help being a mother because I had some trauma in my life that may have skewed the way I think parenting should be. It might make me too lenient, and that can be a problem for the child. Or it might make me too strict, which could be a problem for the child. You want somebody to be honest with you, like you're dating somebody and they want to get married and have kids. You don't. Whether you're a man or a woman, you need to be honest and be like, hey, okay, you know what? Feel you, you tight, you popping, but under no circumstance do I want to get married or have a kid. You can't string people along. And when you're not honest with yourself about where you're at with any business, you're stringing yourself along. When you fail to recognize the fallacies of people who are trying to teach you and educate you on something and it's not working, and you fail to recognize that and address it and deal with it, you're stringing yourself along. They're not stringing you along. You're stringing yourself along because you're like, I'm just going to blindly believe in them. I'm just going to. You got to make up your mind. Are you going to stand up for your business and demand that you be taught right and demand that you be educated right? But it starts with you because you can't demand that I or anybody else teach you right unless you at least put forth the effort yourself. Because now you have something to say, well, this is what I understood about this business. Is this correct? Do you? Wow. Okay, then you're not the person I need to deal with. And that's why I tend to just self educate. I hear what other people are saying, but I tend to just, okay, let me see. I'm going to just self educate because I, we don't know each other like that. A lot of these people I like, they're good people, but to be honest, I don't know them like that. And they have no reason to be loyal to me. At any point in time, they can be like, you know what? Fuck all y'all. I'm taking the money and I'm gone. They can quit this business at any point in time, shut their Facebook down, and because they got all your money. And what are you gonna do? Hmm? What are you gonna do? You don't know where they live at. You ain't got no money now, so you can't go fly on Southwest to them. You out. And I'm trying to do what make sure that that don't happen to me. I can't control what happens to you, but I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure it don't happen to me. And I make sure that I don't do that to people who are part of my YouTube channel membership. That's why I do everything I can to be there for them when they need me. They call me up. Ronnie called me up last night. She's like, "Hey Griff, I need some help." No problem. I'm on the thing with you. 9 o'clock last night. We doing a Zoom call. People call me 7 o'clock in the morning, which I or not to, but normally they do that because they got our early morning closing. But I'm helping people out. I'm doing what I can to help people out. I'm going to be there for them. These other suckers, they just leave me out dangling, and that ain't good. So nobody put a four up. So that means nobody wants to quit the business. That means y'all want to stick with this. Then let's find a way to make that happen. Let's find a way to make that happen for yourself. Okay. Let's find a way to make that happen. And I will say this: you may have to curtail where you spend your money. Even if you're a YouTube channel member here, if that money is if spending the money as a YouTube channel member here is interfering with your bottom line, I get it. I get it. If you're spending money over here, if you're not getting anything out of these Facebook groups and just a bunch of gossip and a bunch of people cussing each other out and a bunch of people talking about what they ain't going to do, that ain't helping your business. You wouldn't accept that kind of talk and that kind of information being put into your head in your job. So how is that helping you in your business? It's not. And as a business owner, you're responsible for doing what you're supposed to do. So why would I listen to people who have no care and concern about my business, except for they're doing it because I'm paying them. But if I didn't pay them, they wouldn't do anything for me. That's why the people who get broke over here with paying them folk call me because they know I care. And they know I'll call them. And that's why y'all get referred to me because I'll talk to you to a certain extent. I'm not going to demand that you pay me anything, but at a certain, but you're going to have to. That's what I tell people. Look at my videos. Well, you got a lot. Look at my videos because the questions that you're asking, the answers in the videos. I just want to get it from you. You do get it from me when you look at my videos. I'm not sending you. I'm not having you look at a video of someone else. This is my videos. Look at it. And the people who do, they're doing great in the business and they move and they grow forward. But the people who don't, they stop calling, they just call somebody else, and then somebody else, and then somebody else, and then they eventually come back, hey, yeah. And I'm like, go look at the videos. I done put up 14 more since then. Oh, I gotta look at the video. Yeah, look at the videos. And that tells a lot about, to me, a lot about people, a person, because they don't want to put in the work. You just want shortcuts. And I'm not a shortcut. Not saying you can't talk to me, but talking to me is not going to accelerate you to where you need to be because you got these 5 questions. And if I give you the answer to these 5 questions, then that's going to be the catalyst of your success. No, it takes a lot more than just getting an answer to those 5 questions. That's what it's all about. They could have watched your entire catalog. That is correct. They could have watched. They could have watched. And the people who have, they're doing great in the business. And then after you watch the video, then you come and talk to me and ask me, like, hey, you said such and such in this video. And then I can expound on it. And then I can tell them. That's how it works. So greatly appreciate y'all. I'm gonna get off of here, print my documents, and get them prepped, and then go to sleep. And go out here and knock out these 2 signings tomorrow. Then I got 2 appointments on Sunday, and I'm just gonna keep plugging away and doing the best I can to take care of my family, which is what I'm supposed to do, whether I was a notary or not. It doesn't matter what business I am doing, what job I have. I got one main obligation. That's to take care of this family. I just chose to do it through the avenue of being an entrepreneur, and the entrepreneur track that I chose was being a notary. That's all. All right. Well, y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all later. Peace.